Did y'all see that video of that girl asking how all the OG influencers were making $30,000 to $50,000 a month and now they're broke and e-begging on TikTok? Like, what happened to all that money? So as somebody who accumulated over 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube back in 2015, and I was literally living in LA, so I witnessed a lot of this, I'm going to give you guys the breakdown on what happened with that money. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but just what I've seen. When I moved out there, I thought I was pushing it with my $2,000 one-bedroom apartment, but I had people living in the same building, just at the top floor. I was on the third floor, but they were at the top floor paying $20,000 a month. And then I had some friends that lived in mansions just for the sole purpose of wanting to be able to throw parties and have people come over and make content in there. Literally paying people's yearly salaries, like $30,000, $40,000 a month just to rent this huge house. So for those of you that were also wondering, like, why do a lot of these influencers have big houses but they're fucking empty? Not even joking, to get some good quality furniture in there, it's gonna cost you like $500,000. And don't even get me started on their Uber ego. It's like people reach a certain amount of followers and all of a sudden they can't use Uber X. Ew, we can't pull up to this party in a Prius. Order an Uber Black. Why would we spend $250 to pull up to a party when we could spend $19.99? Half the cars that you see these people whipping around are rentals and they're spending like $300, $500 a day just to whip it around and try to act like they're somebody they're not. Babe, just because you hit 200K doesn't mean you need to go and get a C300 from Mercedes. Like, it's okay. You can drive your paid off Toyota. Maybe 1 out of 10 of my friends actually cooked their meals at home. Everybody was constantly going out to eat or hiring private chefs. When you start making all this money, a lot of people tend to forget that it might stop one day. So they're still going on these expensive vacations, buying all this designer, even if it's starting to dwindle, because they literally got used to that lifestyle. Girl, when I tell you, the second I had enough money to buy a property, I bought one. I could only tell so many story times and do so many get ready with me's before people fucking lose interest, okay? I had to be realistic about it. But I could see how most 21-year-olds are not thinking about that. More or less, a lot of these people ran through their money trying to look cool. That's it. And now they're begging for galaxies and cowboy hats. Cool.
Controversial opinion, but I think that most influencers are going to end up going broke, and I'm going to explain to you why I know this. I'm saying most, not all. Just keep that in mind. It's pretty comparable to being an athlete, a famous athlete. Just keep that in mind while I'm speaking, because we have real stats from athletes. We don't have as many stats from influencers. I went to an event 7 years ago, and this lives just rent-free in my mind. It was hosted by a popular Instagrammer called The Fat Jewish, and if you don't know who that is, then I think it just kind of further proves the point. And at this event, he explained that what happens to famous people is one of two things. Either your platform is fleeting, so think like eventually in sports, like you retire or you might get an injury, but like think of for influencers like Vine, that what happened to Vine, or TikTok potentially getting banned in the US. The other thing is that you might be fleeting. Hey, you might get canceled. You might not want to do this forever. You might retire. Like, you might not want to make YouTube videos for the next 30 years. So one of those two things can happen to you, or will happen to you, which brings me into my second point. How many influencers do you know, or athletes do you know, that have really stayed relevant long term? It's a very small proportion of them, right? If you think of someone like in athletics that's still famous, they're probably doing something to keep themselves relevant. Like if we think of Shaq went and did like 1 billion different things to stay relevant. But that's not every athlete that you can think of. That's not every person that's ever been on a sports team. It's a very small number. And that's why I say I think most influencers will go broke. It ties into my third point. What did Shaq do differently that kept him relevant versus any other athlete? And how you as an influencer can do something different. The Fat Jewish at this event spoke about how it was so important to build other streams of income because he knew he wouldn't stay relevant forever, whether it was because of the platform shutting down or him just not wanting to do it. He built all these different income streams, which is something that Shaq did as well. Shaq owns like a bunch of restaurants and does all kinds of different things to keep that income coming. When you get a lot of money coming towards you, whether it's working your 9 to 5, whether it's being a famous athlete or an influencer, it's very common that something occurs called lifestyle creep. That's where you start getting the G classes, the mansions, you upgrade your car, you upgrade your apartment, you upgrade your wardrobe, you upgrade all these different things. No matter what the scale is, you're upgrading. But when you upgrade like that, you're setting a certain standard for yourself, which means that you're either change your desk to continue working your 9 to 5, or that like 67%, I think it is, of NBA players that retire within 2 years go broke, because you weren't managing your money well along the way. You were expecting these certain calibers of lifestyle, but you weren't investing money to make sure that that stayed with you long term. And that's why if I was an athlete or if I was an influencer, if I was any of these things, I'd be making sure to have like a panel of people helping me manage my money if I didn't know what I was doing, and be investing like over 80% of my income, because I know in my head that this is fleeting. That's why I think most people will end up going broke, because they're not doing that.
I want to be an influencer until y'all realize exactly what y'all gotta go through. Oh my God, I want to quit my 9 to 5. I want to live that life. Let me tell y'all something. Most of them influencers are dead ass lying, and I know because I live that life. I'm not saying I'm a liar though. Like, I'm gonna keep it real G for my players out there. One, I'm gonna start with the brand collabs. Definitely not easy to get. I already know the scam ones that be like, oh my God, DM for a collab. Babes, don't answer that. The platform that I really like that helps me with collabs is called Aspire IQ. Chef's kiss, okay? Or incense. I done did everything in the book. I done emails. I done typed up the whole thing. Don't even waste your time with that. I promise you they don't care. Keep it short and cute and send a little media kit and they'll get back to you. And when it comes down to like payments, please don't be like, oh my gosh, since this influencer charged $1,000, I could charge $1,000. No, bitch. You only have 1,000 followers, girl. Relax. You were not that girl yet. And I'm technically not a small creator anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, there be brands out there that be trying to ask me, do I want $50? Offering me $50. That's not even paying a phone bill, babes. I could go to Aldi's and get a snack, bitch. My whole point is that brands like to play with you. So that's one life of an influencer. When you're first starting out, don't nobody care what you're doing. I promise you, I'm sorry. You gotta do a trend. You gotta follow a trend. That's how people are gonna start knowing who the fuck you are. Don't try to be different. Like, day in my life, don't nobody know who you are. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody want you. Don't nobody need you. People are gonna start becoming envious of you. Start unfollowing you, being weird. This, that, and third. Babes, I seen it. And y'all think influencer life is not a 9 to 5? Bitch, you're right. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a 7 a.m. to 3 in the morning. I be busting my ass in here. And then to the girlies, I've been getting free wigs like it's candy. God bless y'all soul. Cause I have, let me show you these packages. I have 6 brand deals that I have yet to finish. Cause I'm stressed. I'm stressed.
Every time I open up this app, I kid you not, I see somebody talking about how are these 19 and 20-year-old influencers living in these skyrise apartments, driving fucking Lamborghinis, unboxing a $500 to $2,000 bag every week. As somebody that's been in the influencer space for over 10 years, let me tell you exactly how they're doing it. Obviously, some people are born lucky. They get born into rich families and their families take care of them, so they're able to shop like that. But let me tell you about the other 90%. I told you guys in a previous TikTok that I witnessed somebody's card get declined and they managed to open up another line of credit on their phone in under 10 minutes and pay for said bag that was thousands of dollars.
I love this creator so much. She keeps it so real. I love seeing her on my FYP. But I wanted to add my story that just happened to me to hers. So you guys could stop comparing your real life to the veneers of influencers on social media, because it's all curated. It's not real. So one of the OG influencers who made a video about me, by the way, when I was getting canceled and calling me a Harriet Tubman and the C word, I saw her at an event recently. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly who she is, but I'm sure you guys can deduce who she is. Back in the day when I wanted to be an influencer terribly and I was working so hard at it and it wasn't happening for me, there were only about 8 black influencers on YouTube at the time who were doing so well, and she's one of them. I think she has like 3 million subscribers on there and like 2 million on Instagram. Anyway, I saw her, and because of what she said about me on my video, I'm like, I'm just going to approach her and say hi. Because one thing I will do is confront you, even if it's just passive aggressive way, in a kind way, but I will always let you know that I know what I know. So I walked up to her and I was like, hey girl. She's like, hi. And she's like, how are you? How have you been? And I said, I bought a place. Now, I'm going to continuously brag about the fact that I bought a place almost cash, because I was homeless less than a decade ago. So yes, I'm gonna brag about it. I'm gonna tell anyone who would ask me how am I doing, I'm gonna say successful, like Tiffany Haddish.
How are you?
I'm successful. How are you?
Anyway, so I said, yeah, I bought a place, and she looked so, it wasn't jealousy on her face, which I respect. It wasn't envy. she was dumbfounded. She looked bewildered. She was like stuck in a moment. And after about, I guess, 20 seconds of her thinking it through in her head, she goes, how is that possible? How is it possible to buy a place in Los Angeles? How is that possible inside of LA? And she's asked me these questions with curiosity on her face. And of course, I'm so petty. She's carrying a Fendi bag. I'll put up the picture here. This exact Fendi. When I got home, I went to go look it up. It's like $4,500. And I'm looking at her. She's looking at me, and I'm looking back at the bag. And she's looking at me, and I'm looking back at the bag. And I thought this is my moment to stick it to her, because like she was so mean in that video she made about me that I'm just gonna stick it back to her. And I said, well, personally, as you know, I don't buy things like that. And I pointed at her bag. I said, I don't buy things like that. It's not for me. I believe in assets over liability. And so I'm just gonna keep buying properties and land, and I will never buy that. And then I was like, well, you know, I'm a huge fan of yours, which I was. That's not even a lie. Like, I was a huge fan of hers when I was trying to be a YouTuber and I was feeling at it. And I said, and I see all your unboxing, and if you sell like 10 of those, you can afford a house in LA too. And I just said, okay, bye to that, and I walked away. And that is a fact. These influencers they do make that money. I want to make that very clear. We make money, but they don't save it, because they think in their mind they have to look a certain way to be considered an influencer, which is kind of true. Because when I was getting canceled, I heard Nika doesn't really have money. She's not really rich. Like, she never wears anything nice or expensive. She's not aspirational. She doesn't travel much. Like, she doesn't have any money. And I was like, I'm about to buy a whole land. Like, I'm trying to buy a land in January in Simi Valley. And I think they make this money and they think, oh my God, I have to buy more stuff to look more rich, you know. So I'm going to implore you to not compare your real life, your hard-earned money, your humble life to a life of an influencer on social media, because two things. One, a lot of the stuff that we get are gifted to us. Two, a lot of us become an overnight success, especially the Gen Z ones, and they don't learn financial literacy. That's why you should follow me, so you can learn everything about financial literacy. And they just blow through the money. And this girl is just, if you go on her Instagram or her YouTube, you will think she's like a multi-millionaire. And the fact that she could not wrap her head around, she's like, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I just don't know how anyone can save up ever for a place. And she could not wrap her head around it. Tells you everything you need to know. They're blowing through credit cards. They're blowing through their savings. They don't save. They don't care about saving. They don't have investments. They have nothing with all this money they make. So don't compare your life ever. Your life is fine. Save your money.
So our influencers are going broke. Hey you all, I hope you guys are doing great and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I've decided to do a video of people reacting to this whole saga about influencers going back to 9 to 5, you know. And yeah, a lot of them have been saying that this influencing industry it does have money, but that money is not consistent. In a month you might make a lot, and then for the next 2-3 months it might be dead silent, and you wouldn't know how to get by. Whereas having a 9 to 5, your salary is consistent. You just know that this month I am getting this money. Come rain, come shine, this is my salary. And yeah, you can even able to plan ahead with that money. But you can't plan ahead with money that you don't have, money that you don't even know it's gonna come. You don't even know the exact amount of money that you'll receive in that month. Sad, honestly. It's a nice life. I don't want to lie. It's a nice life. The fame, getting all the brand deals and so on. But I feel like it's also a life that is full of anxiety. Definitely, if it was me, I know I would be anxious. I would be anxious because I like just knowing that this and this and this is taken care of. So, oh yeah. But yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do like, share, subscribe, do all the amazing stuff, and see you on my next one. Ciao.